Hi, this is Harvey at Figaholic. I'm just finally getting my new watering system put in place here. It's something I've been thinking about for about 3 years, wanting to do, coming up with different ideas on how I'm going to accomplish it. As I've mentioned in one of my rooting videos, I like to bottom water my cuttings that I'm rooting, but I've thought about this quite a bit. I like the idea of bottom watering in general. I could use drip irrigation. I have some problems with my well water having the high iron and the emitters will plug up. But also a drip emitter is going to give me the same amount of water for a plant that is dry versus another one that is damp already. So it's going to be overwatering one and maybe underwatering another. Whereas if I bottom water and soak my trees, the dry ones are going to be soaking up a lot more water than a one that's damp. I mean, they're going to only get so wet. Also, some of my trees that are destined for planting out in my orchard, they get root bound before I plant them. A lot of these trees are already overdue for getting planted out in the orchard. I need to add another row. Just can't get enough done in the time I have. But I built two of these tanks. I call them tanks. They're made out of 2x6s, which are actually 5.5 inches wide, and plywood on platforms. I coated them with fiberglass resin to waterproof them. I've got plenty of structure below them to support the weight of all the plants. I have about 60 large 5-gallon pots in this one, plus I've got a 15-gallon Vertuso Negra Ramada there. That tree probably is not going to get enough watering from just the bottom watering, so I'm going to probably add an emitter. So some of these I might supplement with some top watering. If I leave for a few days, I can still get by bottom watering them. Over here I have smaller trees mostly, and I'm going to soak these at a shallower depth because they don't need as much water for these shallower pots. So I'll show you the systems. I've got a regular lawn sprinkler valve that supplies the water source, and this valve is a float valve here made for providing water for livestock. I can adjust the height there. I have a union there. I can slide that pipe up and down some. I've had different sorts of learning experience in constructing this. This is all my own idea. And if I had too much water flow, I blew that pipe right out of that union a couple of times. Well, more than many times, I guess I should say. And I finally closed my water supply valve part way so I don't get so much water. It still takes me about 20 minutes or 25 minutes to fill up this tank, and it shuts off. I haven't decided yet how long I'll soak it. I did one soaking today of an hour, and that seemed to work out pretty well. Trees that were pretty hard to overwater a 5-gallon potted tree in this sort of warm weather. We hit 99 degrees today, pretty warm. I can let it soak for an hour. I have another valve, that brass valve down there is for a drain. You can see I have this wire screen here. So when I have soaked sufficiently, I can go ahead and shut the water off and then open up this valve for draining it, and it'll take about 25 minutes to drain this tank. It'll take less for this other tank over here because it's not going to be filled up as far. I've put in a large shade structure too. 10 foot high. My shade is 20 foot by 24 foot. I got some dragon fruit here. They've been getting some sunburn with all the intense sun. I have a flower right there that's just about ready to open. It's going to open tonight. So this is getting close to being full. I have this one set so it comes right near the top of the tank here. I have a slight slope designed into this tank to where it slopes to this corner so that it will drain when I drain it. So far it's working out well. I used it first yesterday on some trees, and then again today we filled it up, and it worked out fine. This is my second irrigation today. More just fine-tuning the time period that I have and how long it'll drain. One thing I've got a Raycue smart timer, irrigation timer, a 7-station timer. Maybe it's an 8-station timer, I forget. I'm only using 5 stations of it right now. But this timer I can control remotely anywhere in the world that I have a Wi-Fi connection. I have a surveillance camera. I can monitor my plants if they look wilted, or I see that the temperatures are 105 degrees at 3 p.m. and I'm somewhere out of the country or away from the farm. I can go ahead and manually trigger it to water for another irrigation. So anyway, I think this is going to make things a lot easier for me, give me some breathing room. I need to get many of these planted into the ground. Some are duplicates, extras, but anyway, thanks for watching.